Okay, we have 3 chapters to look at today for the curious incident of the dog in the nighttime. So just to make this clear, you should be writing these points down in your red books. When we come back to school, I'm going to check your red books. It's really important that you have some of these ideas about what's going on in these chapters, especially because we're going to have the examination for this in November. So if you think now it's March, the examination is going to be about 8 months away, so we need to find a way to build up our memories. Otherwise, there's no point in trying to read through the book. So in chapter 53, how old was Christopher's mother when she passed away? And one of the key language features I want you to think about in this chapter is the use of jargon. So jargon is sort of scientific or technical language. We have one word here, aneurysm, and the second one is embolism. So these are two scientific words that are about heart failure. And I have also included in the notes that it is incredible that a 15-year-old would know these words. So once again, this suggests that Christopher is extremely intelligent. Even though he is quite socially awkward, he's a very intelligent young man. I imagine most people in the class who are 15 would not know what those words meant unless they were studying biology or PE or something like that. In chapter 59, we have this question coming through. Why do you think that Christopher wants to find out who killed Wellington? This is probably one of the most important questions in the entire book. Why is Christopher motivated to do this? Okay, what does he want to achieve? What are his goals? Okay, we've heard before from his father that he should stop doing this. He's obviously been arrested, so he's already off to a very bad start. However, once he's decided he wants to do something, he could become completely fixated on trying to achieve it. The second question for chapter 59 is, how do you think Mrs. Shears feels when she sees Christopher? Don't forget that she is the owner of the dead dog, Wellington. Okay, so how does this lady feel when Christopher comes back onto her property? In this chapter as well, we also have an imperative. So an imperative is a commanding word. And there is a great message that Siobhan gives to Christopher. She says, if you want to go onto the swings and there are already other people on the swings, you must never push them off. You must wait until they are finished. So these instructions are quite amusing. But what does this suggest about Christopher? It suggests that he has problems with being polite to other people, and he has issues with his temper sometimes. So he really needs help from his teacher, Siobhan, to help him. And I know the spelling of that name, Siobhan, S-I-O-B-H-A-N, is quite unusual. So sometimes students pronounce it as Sibohan, but that's wrong. It's Siobhan. There's also an idiom. An idiom is a common saying or a common idea, a common metaphor, and the idiom here is a red herring. So a herring is a type of fish. What does this mean? It means that when you read through detective stories, there are often ideas that will lead you down the wrong track. This is to test the reader, to challenge the reader, because if the answer to a detective story was really clear and obvious, nobody would want to read them. We have, in chapter 61, we have some humor. I think that people believe in heaven because they don't like the idea of dying, because they want to carry on living, and they don't like the idea that other people will move into their house and put their things in the rubbish. Now, I don't know about you, but I find that to be quite hilarious. I think that's really, really, really funny. Okay, so a simple idea is that the world is going to carry on without you after you have passed away. But Christopher has put a twist on it by suggesting that all of the things that you think are important, other people will come along and simply throw out. So the point being here is that Christopher is not trying to be extremely funny in his story. However, sometimes the way that he expresses his thoughts or ideas, he comes across as being extremely funny. Okay, thank you very much.